Have y'all seen Walmart has dynamic pricing now?
The price you see on the shelf may not be the price you pay at Walmart anymore. Now you're paying whatever an algorithm thinks it can squeeze you for.
I never thought I would see the day, but it's finally here, unfortunately. You can come here, see, oh, it's 128, and then when you go to the register, it could be a completely different price.
I literally witnessed this brand and all these other 10 snack size bars change from $2.50 to $3.16.
Okay, so today we're going to be taking a look at something that's been quietly rolling out at Walmart locations across the country, and people are rightfully not happy about it. We've got a bunch of clips showing the dynamic pricing situation, the new digital shelf tags, prices changing in real time right in front of people, and what it all actually means for everyday shoppers who are already stretched thin. There's a lot to get through here, so let's jump right into it.
I literally witnessed this brand and all these other 10 snack size bars change from $2.50 to $3.16. It started glitching and I thought, what in the world? Because I had noticed that it was $2.50 when I come down this aisle. And next thing I know, it says $3.16 and I see this one glitching and I see this one glitching. And I knew that it was $2.50 and now it is $3.16. I literally witnessed that. Walmart, you suck.
And this is someone who literally watched it happen in real time. $2.50 to $3.16 on snack bars, right in front of her, while the tags were glitching through the transition. That's not a hypothetical. That's not a conspiracy. That's a price change happening while she was standing in the aisle, deciding whether to buy the item. And the glitching is its own problem. If the tag is in the middle of updating, you genuinely don't know what you're going to be charged until you're at the register.
Walmart introduces dynamic pricing, despite the fact that this model has failed at every other major retailer in the United States that's even attempted to think about doing this. Most recently, Wendy's attempted dynamic pricing to huge public outcry. What did Wendy's do wrong? What Wendy's did is they proposed that depending on the time of day that you went through the drive-thru, they would increase the price if there was heavy traffic at that time or decrease the price if there was not. Now, what people really figured out is they weren't really going to decrease the price per much, but if you went through during rush hour, say lunch, dinner time, that then they were going to charge you a much higher rate just to go through and get your burger and shake. So huge public outcry. Wendy's heard the customers, got smart, decided to drop the dynamic pricing model. Now, Walmart, what they're going to do is move to electronic stickers versus the little paper stickers that they have for the price of everything now. So what does that mean? That means if it's 100+ degree day outside and you go into Walmart to the cold drink area, you can bet that all of the prices are going to be hiked up because they know that you're going to need a cold drink that day. Or, heaven forbid, there's a major snowstorm outside and you go over to where the snow shovels are at and you see that they're double the price that they normally are. That's what we're leading to and talking about, and people are really upset. Now, if Walmart is smart, they won't do this because people don't want to be gouged. It's already a really rough economy for everybody out there in 2024. There aren't enough good jobs for everybody. People can't get housing. People can't move to better jobs because there aren't available opportunities for them to do so. And people are unemployed for a very long period of time right now. And in addition to all that, inflation is ridiculous and everything is horribly expensive compared to where it was just a few years ago. So Walmart, the place where most people go because it's the cheapest place to get most goods, even though most people don't like Walmart because of the way that their stores are run, the way that they treat their employees, and the way that they already tend to gouge people, they're going to try to push this even further and try to take people and say, if this is something you really need that day, we're going to charge you more for it. I think it's a huge mistake and I don't think that they should do it, but I don't think that they'll listen. What do you guys think?
The Wendy's comparison is a really good reference point here, because that's a case where dynamic pricing got proposed, the public pushed back loudly, and the company backed down. The question is whether Walmart is too large and too entrenched as a necessity for a lot of communities to face the same kind of consumer pressure. If you're in a rural area where Walmart is the only option within 35 miles, and we heard exactly that earlier in this video, you don't really have the option to shop somewhere else as a form of protest. That's the part that makes this situation different from Wendy's and a lot harder for consumers to fight back against.
Tough Airbnb experience, but Airbnb reached out to me and gave me a partial refund and it helped. Like 100%. I'm very happy with Airbnb. I will try it again because I do feel like they did respond. And I, to be fair, did never complain directly to them because I didn't think they'd be able to help me. And I talked with someone at customer service who was basically like, look, next time call, like we can't help you. Like the company's not the same as it was 2 years ago or 5 years ago or 10 years ago, because I've probably been on 20 trips with Airbnb and I just like feel like they're not going to help. And it did give me some more confidence. Part of my annoyance was the fact that the place we stayed at, because it was the Montreal F1 race, had quadrupled its price. Like I'm looking at the place now after we left, it's way cheaper. The reason it's expensive is because they jacked up their prices literally 4 times as much as they normally are. So we were paying a lot of money for a place that wasn't great. And a lot of times in Airbnb, I feel like when I spend a lot of money, I expect the place to be nice. And because of that pricing model where they're allowed to just literally jack up the rate to whatever they want, it ended up putting us in a position where we paid $1,000 a night for a not nice place and a place that's normally $250 a night. So for $250 a night, what happened at this place, I would 100% expect. But what for $1,000 a night, like they didn't up their game because it was the Montreal F1 race. They had the same Airbnb. They didn't change anything. They didn't put more money into it. And I get it. Like it's one weekend. They don't have to do that. But I think my frustration was that we paid so much money for this hotel that had like some problems in it. And, you know, next door was a junkyard that some hoarder had. Like it wasn't great. You know, and there were some cleanliness issues and the hosts were super responsive, but the house just didn't have what it needed to for 8 people who were staying there with kids. Like it was just, it was a lot. And I think Airbnb stepped in and like made me feel better about them as a company. And next time I would complain. But I think the issue is like, if you complain, now I have to move Airbnb's. I have to find another place. And it was the F1 race. There was nothing. We had looked, it took us a long time to find this place and we had booked it like 6 months earlier. We really should have looked at places a year earlier.
So this one is technically about Airbnb, but it's the same dynamic pricing conversation, just in a different context. Quadrupling the price of a rental for an F1 weekend without upgrading anything about the property. Same place, same host, same condition, 4 times the price, because the algorithm knows demand is high, and the guest is paying luxury money for a standard product. This is the logical endpoint of letting algorithmic demand pricing run unchecked across every consumer category simultaneously. Whether it's your Walmart grocery run or your weekend accommodation, the system is increasingly designed to extract the maximum amount it thinks it can get from you at any given moment.
Walmart's dynamic pricing has me so fucked up, and other stores better not follow suit. Today, I went to Target and I seen a tennis racket. I'll put it here, it was like $18. And then I go to Walmart right after, and the exact same tennis racket was $24. And that's when I had noticed that my Walmart had like the digitized like fucking price things. So I was like, okay, that's weird, whatever, cool. I'll just get the tennis racket from Target because it's cheaper. And then I was also purchasing curtains. And so I go over to the curtains and it was like different lengths for different prices. So like the 63-inch one was like, I think 18. And then the 65-inch one was like 19. And I ended up getting the 93-inch, but that one didn't have a price in front of it. So I was like, oh, it'll probably be like $21, $22 based on like the price increments. And then I go to the cash register to check out. It says, y'all see my card info? Hold on. Okay. So then it rang up as just merchandise. It didn't say curtain or anything. It rang up just as merchandise for $14.97. So it was cheaper than both the other ones on the shelves by the time I had made it to checkout. I was like, this is just too much. And it's irritating me. And I hope that other stores don't do this too, because I'm not about to be sitting here paying made up ass prices for shit. Like, I'm just not doing it.
And the curtain example here actually captures something important about how confusing this has gotten. The price increments on the shelf suggested a certain range. The 93-inch curtain had no price at all, and it rang up cheaper than everything else. So the digital pricing system isn't even internally consistent. It's not just that prices are high, it's that they're unpredictable in both directions, which makes it basically impossible to budget your shopping trip before you get to the register. That uncertainty on top of already stretched budgets is genuinely stressful for a lot of people.
Hey, TikTok, I want to show y'all something. That is a digital price tag. I seen one change on the other aisle. I was trying to sit there and see if I find one where it's on sale because I was getting hamburger meat and I noticed it was $5 off. And then when I was back there, it actually swapped in front of me. But yeah, like that is a digital price tag. It sits on that little rail right there, and they could change it, I guess, due to demand. I've seen these online, but I'm not a big fan of them being able to change the price while you're in here on things like toilet paper and stuff just because there's a storm coming.
The toilet paper and storm example is a perfect illustration of why people are uncomfortable with this. Dynamic pricing for airline seats or hotel rooms. People have gotten used to that even if they don't love it. But toilet paper, snow shovels during a blizzard, those aren't luxury purchases. Those are necessities. Charging people more for something they desperately need, precisely because they need it, is a pretty widely agreed upon definition of price gouging. The fact that a system now exists to do that automatically and algorithmically at the largest retailer in the country is a genuinely new thing.
This is what I got with $20 at Walmart in this economy. About every damn thing was $5. Okay, the chips was selected because I'm having sandwiches, man. And turkey bacon, because I got some eggs, turkey bacon and rice. Rice lasts long, you know what I'm saying? You could use rice with everything. It's $5. $5. Like, they had two for $4.50. And then this was like about $2. And this was the last cheap one too. That's the crazy part. Cause that bunny was about $5. But yeah, this is what I got for $20 in this economy. I just want to let y'all know. This is inflation is high. Inflation is high. People talking about gas. We gotta worry about the food. Cause I don't eat red meat and stuff. They charge the people who don't.
And this one brings it back to the ground level reality of what $20 actually gets you right now. Rice, eggs, turkey bacon, a couple of basics, and nearly everything was $5. That's the math people are working with. And he makes a point that often gets overlooked. People who don't eat red meat, people with dietary restrictions or health considerations, are often paying more for their food because the cheaper options don't work for them. The inflation isn't hitting everyone the same way, and some people are getting squeezed from multiple directions at once. What do you guys think is the most you've spent on groceries recently for what felt like almost nothing? Drop it in the comments because I feel like that number has changed dramatically for most people.
Attention Walmart shoppers. Make sure you pay attention to their price matching policy because last night I came to Walmart to buy some vacuum bags because I'm moving out of my rental right now, and I went to the store and it said these vacuum bags were like $20 for 2 hanging ones, which I was like, that's pretty pricey. So I was like, let me check online to see if they can price match. And usually I don't really look at competitors. I'll just look at the same store online because sometimes they'll have the prices cheaper online. So sure enough, these 2 hanging vacuum bags that were like 18 cents and some change were actually $14 online. So when I went to the checkout, I let the guy know, like, hey, it says online they're 14 something. So he rang them out and they still rung up as like 18 something. So I was like, well, I showed him my phone. I said, online at this store, it says that I could get these delivered tomorrow, or I could pick them up in store tomorrow for this price. And he was like, oh, well, we don't do that. And I was like, so what's your price match thing? And he was like, oh, I think that's like for competitors. And I was like, but online. Anyway, he got a manager for me. I was very nice. He was very nice. And the manager, who I knew wasn't going to be in a good mood because apparently she ignored this employee when he first flagged her down, she came up and she was like, oh, well, we don't do that because they want to encourage people to shop more online than in store, which doesn't make sense to me because as an employee, especially as an employee that works in a store, you think that, you'd want people to shop in store to keep your job, to keep people's jobs. But anyway, I said, okay, well then what's a price match? Because online it says that y'all don't price match with competitors. So who are you price matching against if not yourselves? And she couldn't explain it to me. But she just said that they don't do that. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go online and I'm going to look, because I swear I've seen this before. Sorry, my hair is like gelled back because I just didn't care today. So I went online and sure enough, and it says, obviously there's stipulations, like if you live in like Alaska, Hawaii, or Puerto Rico, this doesn't pertain to you. But as long as the product is online, you know, for a cheaper price for that store. So I put in my zip code. I put in the store if I wanted something to be delivered or picked up. So as long as it's in stock in that specific store, they will honor the price that is online. So sure enough, I went back today and they had to refund me, which is going to take several days, then recharge me the right price. So yes, it was a pain in the butt because they had to charge my card again, but as long as I get the original money back and I save, you know, like 15, 20 bucks, but just make sure you know the policy and try to go back on a different shift to talk to a different manager. Obviously be polite, but I was like, this makes no sense. If you don't price match against competitors, who are you price matching against? Because you say that y'all don't honor the prices online. And this wasn't like a sale or a rollback or anything, because it doesn't count if it's like on sale online, but it's not on sale in store. Like if it says it's on sale. This was like a regularly priced item. It just happened to be cheaper online for that store. So yeah, make sure you check Walmart's refund and price matching policy, because I was not very happy last night, but I knew this morning that they would honor it, and thankfully they did.
And this is actually a really useful tip buried inside a frustrating experience. Walmart's own online prices are sometimes lower than their in-store prices for the exact same item at the exact same location, and they will honor that price if you know the policy and push for it. The fact that the manager didn't even know their own price matching policy is a separate problem, but the broader point is worth knowing. Always check the Walmart app or website for the item you're buying in store, because you might be paying more than you have to without even realizing it. In this environment, any money you can keep in your pocket matters.
You've reached out. Lots of you have private messaged me. So many comments. I'm having a hard time keeping up on this whole Walmart thing. And so one video that was shared and sent to me multiple times, I'm going to try my best tech savvy self to put the information in there. I'll try and put screenshots, and then at the end I'll link the other video so that you can watch the whole thing, so that you can see that I'm not lying, because I got accused of lying by a few people. You don't have to believe me. I'm just trying to warn the masses. But this is a video of the price. The tag is set, and it was $12.97, marked down to $5. While they're filming, no cuts, no edits, it starts blinking, and then it reloads, and it says that it's $10.97. And that's where my wild brain was like, this can't happen, because if I'm on a tight budget and I'm standing there writing this stuff down and trying to keep up with pricing, and my kid asks for a $5 toy, and I'm trying to be kind about it, and I'm like, sure, we can afford $5. And then I get to the register and it's off. But then imagine everything in the cart is a little bit off. That's what I'm talking about. And then if you say, no, this was supposed to be on sale, and then you go back and you try and scan it with your phone, scan it with their phone, scan it with the stuff they have there, scan it with the scanner, it's all going to come up $10 because it refreshed and it changed. And so you can't prove that it was $5. And it's not one thing, it's everything, right? Because my kid said several times as we were ringing stuff up, he was so apologetic. He kept being like, Mom, I'm so sorry. I thought that was only $9. Oh, Mom, I'm so sorry. I only thought, and I was like, it's not that big a deal. Everything's expensive, baby. I'm not worried about it. And he was like, I know, I just feel really bad. I feel really bad. Because we all know how expensive things get when you decide to buy it all at once, right? From like shower stuff to deodorant to mouthwash to toothpaste, when you're trying to buy it all at once. And so he was just, being kind. And I kept saying no. And I was like, I am getting concerned though, because everything's a little off. Seems a little off. And so my snapping point was the shoes, because I was like, okay, that I know is on sale. And so that's where I went crazy. So I'll attach it at the end so that we can all see the same thing. Nobody can call me a liar. I'm just trying to spread the word so that people are aware. Okay.
Mixed speakers commentary. And this last one is the one that really gets to the heart of why people are upset. It's not just about a few cents here and there. It's the kid apologizing to his mom because he thought something was $9 and it rang up higher. It's the shoe that was clearly on sale until suddenly it wasn't. It's building your whole cart around prices you saw on the shelf and then getting to the register to find out the math no longer adds up. When you're on a tight budget, every dollar is accounted for before you even walk in the store. A system that changes prices between the shelf and the register doesn't just cause inconvenience, it causes real harm to real households that are already operating with zero margin for error. So that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, especially your own specific experiences with dynamic pricing, digital shelf tags, or just trying to figure out what things actually cost at the register versus what the shelf said. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and I'll talk to you guys later. Yeah.